Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Well, guys, as always, please make sure you subscribe to all three channels, Evolutionary Energy Arts, EEARTS, and Heart Zone. Check in daily in case you don't get notifications. Okay, so, yeah, so much to go on. This one's going to be a shorter one just because there's so much going on all the time. And we want update you on this and a few other things going on. Multiple agencies looking into calls of a loud explosion over Mission, Texas. Currently, multiple agencies are reporting a loud bang and shaking near Mission, Texas. The Hidalgo County Sheriff says Houston Air Traffic Control has received 2 reports of blue streaks in the sky and sounds of an explosion, possible meteorite. Here you go. I mean, doesn't it feel like we're living in a sci-fi horror movie lately? Yeah, it certainly does.
I don't know. I mean, that thing looked more like it's being propelled at certain points, coming in and out of the picture. And gosh, you guys, I can't leave it out. What if it's the dome cracking?
Oh, she didn't say that.
I did.
She said that. You guys know what we feel about that. Yeah. You know. You understand. You guys. But still, when she was looking at this and she's just getting the feel that people were watching this in medieval times. And I think that they were painting things of this. They're looking up at the sky. They're seeing all the chaos going on. They're trying to make sense out of it. Perhaps, they had better senses than most of us do these days because of, big FARMA as well as different signals and all.
I'm not a physics person, but when I look at that and feel it, you guys, to me, it feels like it's being propelled. I just have to throw that out there. It's more the feeling, and it looks and feels like it's interesting.
Well, we did see some interesting trails in the sky that were heavier than usual in recent days, and then we got reports from family members that are out there, Evolutionary EEARTS family members, getting really, really sick, and literally really scary sick all of a sudden. And they were reporting lots of trails in the sky. And as I've shared with you, in the plagues of Justinian, again, this is going way back, like 1,500 years ago, there were things in the sky, and then all of a sudden, massive outbreaks all over the place, and bubonic plague and the like. And again, we see these depictions again, where they clearly are representing angels, right? This is the crucifixion, the painting we've seen many times, right? You got guys that are saints down here because their auras, their halos are glowing. And then you got something totally different. You have people in the sky manning ships. Ships, clearly. Humanoid beings manning ships. So they're not trying to tell you these are angels. No, those are angels right there. Those are angels. These are beings in ships. No, it's just what we always say. They're not all, demons. No, there's extraterrestrials and there's angels. Yes, all of the above. Well, this huge meteorite seen speeding over Mission in South Texas. Loud explosion shook homes. Left a trail in the sky. Certainly this is a little unusual. Sign of the times. Absolutely. Shaking houses and all. Do you know that this was an anniversary of the Chelyabinsk incident? Do you guys remember that Chelyabinsk incident? This was big. This was in Russia where a massive meteor came down. Oh, I can remember that clear as can be. It made a massive flash, and it injured 1,500 people, damaged buildings, unbelievably no deaths. That was back in 2013. That was 10 years ago to the day.
Weird.
Yeah, it is weird. There's a lot of weird things. There's a big anniversary coming up. We'll talk about it more. But watch around the 23rd. I kind of feel 23rd in both this month, February, and then also in March. Could be a key window. So yeah, this is really wild, and it's not the only thing that's going on. We have a large 5-acre warehouse fire breaks out in Kissimmee, Florida. Hazmat teams are on the scene monitoring air quality. The warehouse is filled with plastic potting material. This is a plant farm. Again, what do we see? We see infrastructure burning to the ground, blasted, etc. We see everything to do with, our energy sector having issues, prices going through the roof. We see food supply and food costs going up, up, up. It's pretty damn obvious that there's a war underway here. There is a war underway. Residents with breathing issues should remain indoors. I mean, this obviously burning plastics could be pretty toxic. Yeah, and this is a big one. And Kissimmee is a very populated area, in case you don't know exactly where it is. You see Tampa down here. We see Orlando here. It's south and a tiny bit west of Orlando. Yeah, again, this is our Disney World area, and there's a lot of people that are always in this area, and a lot of residents as well. Cindy immediately picked up that this absolutely was not an accident.
No, I feel I need to be careful with my vocabulary words, but it definitely felt like something that that's no accident, not from the pictures in my head, and we have family members over that way, and we just want to send out our best, and we do hope that they are okay, along with everyone in the area. Hopefully they're safe. They're gonna find a place to be, and this is somehow going to dissipate rather quickly, because that's a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think it's become pretty apparent to many that this cold WAR scenario has gone very, very hot. And this is exactly what we've been talking about. Now, what she picked up also was that there's people that have been training for this for years. It's go time. It's go time now, guys. So again, we have to have that earthquake plan. We have to have that chemical fire explosion plan. We have to have that food supply is withering or being burnt on us plan. We have to have a plan for all these contingencies, and be aware of your local surroundings again. Know what would possibly be a target around you, just in case. You just never know in these times. So interestingly enough, again, where we were talking about was much closer to the border as far as the Meteor, but we do have a 4.3 up here in Hermleigh, Texas. Now, 4.3, not anything too far out of the normal. I mean, we saw mid fives, in Texas again, just like Oklahoma, they were not places that were typical to get a lot of quakes. If you just go back 30, 40 years, there was very, very little, hardly ever quakes. Now, because of the fracking, there's quakes all the time. And again, the fracking, in so many ways, they're like setting minefields for these times. This is a particle distribution map that was shared, as you see, showing the fire over here on the border of Ohio and Pennsylvania. Yes, East Palestine. So, that guy that was saying that him and his family are noticing this up there in Canada, well, according to this map, yeah, you probably would be noticing this up there in Canada. And when you look at this, it seems like it's affecting maybe a third or slightly more than a third of Pennsylvania, maybe a third to a half of Pennsylvania. The northern tier, pretty much. You can barely see New York State. New York State's covered in this too, and this is also heading off into two places that I would say are relatively safer zones. But this just shows you don't know, and that's Vermont and New Hampshire. I mean, if I was in New England, if I was in, New York, Boston, and know what's coming in these times, maybe one of my first thoughts would be, well, maybe Maine would be a good option, maybe Vermont, New Hampshire, if I don't want to go too far away from family and friends. But see, here you go. You just don't know. We really, really don't know what's going to happen.
This is really terrible, because just looking at this, I mean, my throat is getting sore. People are having a hard time, and once again, very dear family members up in that area. So always, no matter what, sending our best, but a little extra focus for those folks that are directly affected.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, Vermont and New Hampshire, I would think might be good, safe places to ride out WW3 and the apocalypse. But here again, what might be raining down or what we might be breathing in might make it so it's not too safe. Now, I don't know exactly what happened. It appears that there was a chase going on. You see a SWAT team here, East Payson Street. This is in the greater LA area. We're going to cover another major event on the next video coming up. If it seems to you that the world has just all of a sudden gone bonkers, you're not alone. Biden plans a speech on the balloon and the unidentified objects, so say sources. Yeah, and that's on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. It's going to be an interesting day. Every day is an interesting day. So, what's going to come out? Which number 46 are we going to see? Is it going to be the one that seems to be shaded in red with horns, or will it be a kinder, gentler version? Who knows? Well, it depends on which number they pull out.
Yeah, is it the one that's a little bit extra forgetful, or forgets his words, forgets where he's at? Who knows?
Yeah, and we have here satellite images that show where the balloons came off, and then we also have the realization that they were tracking the balloons from when they left the fine dining ware country the whole way, and that just again begs you the question, well, why did nothing happen? And then why are whales mysteriously washing up on New Jersey's shores? What's going on off of there? There's been 6 whales washed up dead in New Jersey. This is, a sad situation. It's horrible. It's horrible. The world is toxic, absolutely. But don't you worry. There's going to be Oreos. They've put them in a doomsday vault in Norway to preserve Oreos. Now, I was having these visions last night of tons of food being available in certain areas, but I wouldn't eat any of that food because, it had stuff in there that I wouldn't want to be consuming. And honestly, I wouldn't eat Oreos. That's just me, because again, there's a lot more in there than you realize, or most people realize.
I know. I mean, a few months on those things and you'll be not well.
Yeah, and here is the new YouTube star. He's got his little camera and he's ready to go, and he's going to go out and he's going to just cover wherever the news is, whether there's a fire or a quake or meteors coming down, he's got this covered. So make sure that you subscribe to Dog Vlog.
Yes, please.
And of course, that's a joke, guys. That's a joke. Don't go searching for that one. But make sure you are subscribed to all 3 channels. Stay prepared out there. Thank you for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. We couldn't do it without you guys. Much love. God bless, and namaste.
Namaste.